Good morning. It's Market Day Report. I'm Tony. Glad you're with us. We've got Tommy Grisafi in the wings. We're going to talk about the Canadian rail strike and how it could be affecting commodities. Speaking of commodities, let's go to the corn market in Chicago. We've seen some pressure in the morning trade as again, overnight trade, we were mixed, but now September off 2 1/4, 373 1/4, and the D's at 394 1/2. It's off 3 3/4 cents. What about soybeans? 945 1/4 on the front month, down 17 3/4. New crop 965. It's off 16 1/2. As the scouts from the crop tour, Pro Farmer Crop Tour, reporting some amazing potential in Illinois. Wheat, Chicago 507 off 12 3/4. Front month, July at 570, down 12 3/4. July is the new crop. Same for hard red winter wheat, 565 1/4, down 11 1/4. Could we maybe be discouraging some wheat planting, at least for harvest in 2025. Front month for hard red winter, September 525 1/2. It's off 10 3/4. Now Minneapolis spring wheat, September 571 1/4. It's a dime lower, and let's just keep going east to New York, where December cotton trades 69.72 off 63. Well, we teased it, and here he is, Tommy Grisafi with Advanced Trading, and that Canadian rail strike actually took out one of our guests earlier today. We usually talk with Robin Cross about lumber, but he is so busy right now, couldn't even join us. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm smiling, but I'm actually crying inside, Tony. I hate to see, I dislike, hate's a strong word. I dislike this price action here. I have the live markets here, hooked up. Corn's down 4, beans are down 18. Wheat, I believe, I don't want to misspeak, but I'm pretty confident wheat's at new contract lows. We'll fact check my own statistics here, but they're definitely not at any type of new highs, no 4-week highs or 8-week highs or anything like that. Seeing big moves in the outside markets as we have Jackson Hole, which is Jay Powell, the chair of the Fed, talking about policy. 6 months from now, we'll have something called Humphrey Hawkins. When he speaks, markets move. It's affecting things like gold and other things. But the real news today was the Canadian strike. Keep an eye on spreads. Watch your SEP East, watch your SEP Nov, and then watch your markets from your delivery months in grain like D's, March, and et cetera. Is this a one-day event, a week event, a month event? Time will tell, and you'll be here to report it. I know it's definitely affecting markets, and it's bumming people out. It's hard to be on shows like this and say, I got great news. The stock market's at record highs. I have bad news. Grains are at fresh 4-year lows, and they can go lower. The good news I can report to you is because of people like you and this show, we're able to tell them, I know I'm not going to win the popularity contest, but the risk is still to the downside. And now we're entering crop insurance levels. Today is a great day to call a crop insurance agent or whoever you insured your crops with and say, hey, we're at these levels. I think my bushels are here. The Pro Farmer Crop Tour is out there. I have to have a plan for fall. Even if you didn't have a marketing plan, the market is demanding you get a marketing plan. If you don't make a decision, the market's going to make a decision for you. Back to you, Tony.
Hey, Tommy,
St. James.
how long has it been since we've even brought up LDP payments? I know we're not really in that range yet for our grains and oil seeds, but when you start looking at cotton, it's not out of the realm of possibility. We could be back down into those loan deficiency payments for the cotton market before harvest.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that. When I first started at the Board of Trade in the 90s, first day in the Board of Trade corn pit, June 24th, 1993, they were talking about this LDP stuff that harvest, and actually not that year because we rallied because of the floods. Are you old enough to remember when it flooded in 93, Tony?
Yes. Well, I was 14, but yes.
Yeah, sure you were. I believe you. Well, that year we rallied pretty hard into the fall because the Mississippi River flooded. But in other years that I was a trader at the Board of Trade, we would do LDP. Real quick, for you old timers out there, thanks for watching. Someday, Tony, you got to have on this show or your show, whatever, Let's talk about the pick and roll program. Only the old guys from the 80s remember that one, but people flying across the country with pick certificates. Grain industry has been through bad times before. The good news, before we go on the commercial break, the bushels are there. Back to you, my friend.
There you go. It tees us up for livestock futures. So hang around. Tommy joins us to talk livestock as Market Day Report continues after this. It's Market Day Report. Tommy Grisafi set to join us again in just a moment. Let's look at our cattle market here at mid-morning. Live cattle, October, down a dime, 174.52. Roll out to the 2025 contracts, and we're seeing some gains there of 7 to 12 cents. And for feeder cattle, we're seeing a 72-cent gain on that August, but September only up 22. 235.90, 70 higher on the October. November, couple of dimes higher. The big news right now is everything is higher in the feeder market. And what about the hogs coming off of a marketing year low for export sales? That report out at 7:30 this morning. October up 7 cents at 76.22, but the December down a dime, 67.77. February now off a quarter at 71.27. Tommy Grisafi's with Advanced Trading. Okay, livestock, what's catching your eye?
Well, the outside markets, again, I look over and I see this volatility. Stock market's close to record highs. We can't say cattle are collapsing because the stock market. One thing I would have lost every bet, given all the chances to bet, is 3 weeks ago, we had the third greatest spike in volatility in history in the S&P 500. I think I was sitting next to you, subbing in some of those days. With that, the stock market's recovered. The volatility's come down. The cattle market had a great sell-off. A friend of mine, he's much smarter in cattle than me. He said, we're still in a bull market. Until we have that heifer retention kick in, the numbers are going to be low. And I'll take his word for it. He's an expert on cattle. I know you talk to cattle guys and gals all day long. What are you hearing out on the street, Tony?
Well, and gold. Again, Suzanne and I have been talking about gold this morning, and we're approaching record highs again in that gold market. How does that factor into everything?
Well, Suzanne had mentioned to me she was going to cash in her Mr. T starter kit. She has all those gold chains and everything else. I hear her laughing back there. I knew if I put that line out there, I could get Suzanne to laugh. She can't help herself. Funny you mention it. I was at a store last night with visiting, and I asked the coin store, if I bring you an ounce of gold, what do you give me? They said $150 under the current price, because there's so much volatility. We'll buy gold, but we have to give ourselves room to breathe. The gold market's on fire. I feel like it's signaling something is going to happen in the future that brings disruption to the markets. Back to you, my friend.
Perfect. Tommy Grisafi with Advanced Trading. And again, he walked right into the same area that you and I have been talking about, is what's happening?
Yeah.
What is it?